Hey guys, it's Mel. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do the Unpopular Opinions tag. I was tagged to do this video by Ashleigh from Read Now, Sleep Later. So thanks Ashleigh, I'm really excited to do this tag, so let's just get started. Alright, so question number 1. A popular book or series that you didn't like. I'm going to cheat a little bit here because I'm actually going to say Dan Brown as an author, but the reason it's a little bit of a cheat is because I've actually only read one of his books before, which was Deception Point. And I disliked it so much that I decided that I would never read any other Dan Brown book ever. And I have never done so. I did actually mention Dan Brown in another tag that I did as a book that I didn't like then, and I said that if anyone has read Dan Brown and they liked him, please comment below and tell me so that, you know, maybe I'll give him a try if enough people recommend that I do, and no one did. So I'm going to say the same thing again. If you like Dan Brown and you think that I should give him another shot, please comment below and let me know, and maybe I will. I'm actually not sure that he's that popular on BookTube, to be completely honest, but in the wider reading world he's fairly popular. So anyway, that was question 1. Question 2, a popular book or series that everyone hates that you love. I found this one really tricky. So I went on to Goodreads and had a look at the ratings, the average ratings for the books that I've read, which is a little bit not really that helpful because I've only really been using Goodreads since I started this channel not even a year ago. But anyway, the book that had the lowest rating that I had read that I had really enjoyed was The Red House by Mark Haddon. Mark Haddon is the author of The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. For anyone that doesn't know him particularly well, that was a very popular book. And The Red House is another one of his that I really enjoyed that I thought was really great. It only had a 2.5 ratings to average star rating on there, so I'm not really sure exactly what that means because obviously you can have some outliers that might completely skew the averages, so who knows. But anyway, that was the book that I found. I'm not sure how unpopular he is, I'm just not sure that he's a super beloved author at all, so there you go. Question number 3, I just had to look up one of the acronyms in this question. Question number 3 is a love triangle where the main character ended up with a person that you didn't want them to, or a one true pairing that you didn't like. So my answer for this question is from Twilight. I think that Bella should have ended up with Jacob. I know that would have completely changed the storyline, and I don't necessarily think that Jacob was really that amazing either, but he definitely was better than Edward, who I think was horrendous. And yeah, so I really think that Bella should have ended up with Jacob, although obviously that would have totally changed the entire storyline and we may not have had the subsequent books, so I'm not sure that that's really that doable, but that's my answer anyway. Question 4 is a popular book genre that you don't really reach for very much. My answer to this is middle grade, because ever since I was roughly the age that middle grade is intended for, I haven't really reached for middle grade, which is quite a shame, I've come to realise, because there's actually some really amazing middle grade books around. So I think that that is a genre that I really would like to reach more for, but for the moment that's my answer to that question. Question 5 is a popular or beloved character that you don't like. I really don't know how to answer this question. I am definitely not up to date with the books that have come out in the last few years. I tend not to be a person that keeps abreast of what's being published and release dates or anything like that, and it's really only through watching BookTube that I've started to pay attention to popular books that are coming out. And all of the books that I've read, that I've heard about on BookTube, that I've been told I would really like, I have really liked for the most part. And there hasn't been any characters that I've really disliked that I knew were super popular. So it is quite a tricky question to answer. Yeah, I mean, I guess my answer might go back to Twilight again. I don't know if I was just too old to really get into these books. That's not true. When I first read the books, I quite enjoyed the experience of reading the books, but for the fact that I just enjoyed the experience of reading a book that was fun. I didn't think that there was any substance to it, and I certainly didn't find any of the characters particularly likable, and I certainly didn't find any of the things that were apparently romantic at all. But that was because I was in my late 20s. I do wonder if I'd read them in my teens like a lot of people did, that maybe my experience and my opinions would have been different, but pretty much pick a character from Twilight and I don't like them. Like I said, the experience of reading the books was something I did enjoy at the time. That would be the answer to that question. Alright, so question number 6, a popular author that you can't seem to get into. My answer for this question is Philip Pullman. I have no particular reason to dislike him. I just haven't really gone out of my way to read any of his books. I did read The Golden Compass, but that was quite some time ago now, and I quite enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it enough that I wanted to go out and pick up any of the other books. So yeah, it's not that I don't like him or that I don't think that he is someone whose work I could potentially enjoy. I just can't seem to really find enough about that author to really want to delve into and completely immerse myself in. So the answer was Philip Pullman. Question 7, a popular trope that you are sick of seeing. So I'm really not a fan of insta-love, and as most people probably know by now, if they've been watching for a while, I'm not a huge fan of hate to love either, although my experience of reading the Folk of the Air trilogy has made me realise that in some instances the hate to love can be a good thing. But yeah, insta-love is not something that I am a fan of. I don't mind insta attraction. I don't mind people realizing that they're really attracted to someone, they really like them, so they have that instant attraction, that instant wanting to get to know them, that overwhelming rush of, oh, they're amazing. But it's the idea of insta love being something something you should aspire to. The idea that you can see someone across a crowded room and genuinely fall in love with them and actually maintain that love. I think for the most part, obviously I'm aware that this is not always the case in real life as well as fiction, but I think for the most part you could form definitely an attraction, but you really need to get to know someone to realistically fall in love with them, and certainly to have a love that is maintainable at all. So yeah, insta love, I just don't think for the majority of scenarios where insta love is something that comes up, I don't feel that it's really done very well, and I tend to think that it's quite a lazy storytelling technique. I think that people who use it often use it because they don't want to have to explore what actual real connection is. Maybe they don't know, and I realise that I'm probably being quite harsh here for a lot of authors, and I certainly don't mean to take away from experiences they may have personally had, but that's just my view of insta-love in books. So there you go. Number 8 is a popular series that you have, or book that you have no interest in reading. And for me, the answer to this question is the P.S. I Love You series. Again, there's no particular reason for this. It's not that I've tried it and didn't like it, or watched the movies and didn't like it. I don't feel drawn to it. They're not something that I particularly think I would enjoy. I may enjoy, and if I read them at some point, I'm not against reading them, but I don't care enough about what I've heard about them or the look of them to really particularly want to read them. And lastly is a book or TV show that you prefer to a movie or TV show that you prefer to the book. Again, this is a really difficult one for me to answer because I really, really like adaptations. I really like finding a good adaptation. I often find that if I watch a movie that I really, really, really enjoy, it winds up that actually it's a book, and so sometimes I'll go and hunt that down and read the book and find out I love the book even more so, which is why I started my book into film club that I've mentioned before in the first place. Yeah, it's a difficult question to answer, but also because even when I love a movie, I usually prefer the book. So I really had to think about this, and first of all I wrote down Jane Austen adaptations, not because I don't like Jane Austen's books and not because I prefer any particular adaptation more than any particular book, but there are a few adaptations of Jane Austen that I've really enjoyed. It was in fact the 90s miniseries, BBC miniseries with Colin Firth and Jennifer L version of Pride and Prejudice that actually made me really fall in love with Jane Austen. So although I definitely don't prefer any adaptation of Pride and Prejudice over the book Pride and Prejudice, I love that series and it is the reason why I love Jane Austen so much. I'd already read Emma and I liked Emma, but it's the reason why I just completely became besotted with Jane Austen. So that was my original idea for that reason, but then I thought about it a bit more and I thought that, you know what, actually the answer is any Shakespeare play. And that is because I find that reading a play is just not as good an experience as watching the play or the movie that is based on the play. So yeah, I have read quite a few Shakespeare's and I've enjoyed them, but it definitely does not compare to watching a play or a movie adaptation or a TV show adaptation or whatever it might be. I kind of think this one's a little bit of a cheat also because they were written as plays, so the entire point was for them to be performed, but nonetheless, that is my answer. Alright guys, so those were my answers to the Unpopular Opinions tag. I would love to know what your answers to those questions were if you have done this tag, whether it be on BookTube or a blog or BookTwitter or Instagram or whatever it might be. Please comment below and let me know. I'd really love to have a look. If you have any opinions about any of the books that or characters that I shared, please do remember that this is an Unpopular Opinions tag, so the point is to say, you know, these are some things that I feel that you may disagree with, but nonetheless feel free to comment below if you don't agree with anything I've written or that I've said, or that you think that, you know, I'm wildly mistaken or anything like that, but just try to remember to, you know, keep it civil, which I'm sure you all will. Just quickly before I sign off, I also want to say that I do also have a parenting advice and ideas channel, and on that channel at the moment I'm focusing on homeschooling and things that you can do with your kids from home, particularly if you're trying to also work from home. So I will link that channel in the description below. Please do go and check it out if you are struggling, running out of ideas, want some advice, or just want to share your experiences. Also, I have my link to Twitter there, so if you want to go and find me on Twitter and have a chat, that'd be great too. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you later. I completely forgot to tag people, so I'll do that now. The people who I tag will be in the little eye and also in the comment in the description below. So I'm going to tag Connor from Connor BookTube and Kasey from Lost In A BookCase. I hope that neither of those people have done this challenge before. I'm pretty sure they haven't, so there you go. Bye.